to another Relentless recap. Guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up button for a huge green day today. $1,500, man. When I woke up today, I definitely didn't expect anything crazy like this, considering I woke up with a bad headache, man. Migraine. It's why I didn't stream earlier. And I'm just grateful to be able to come in and have a nice green day like this, especially on a day with such a slow start. CASA, the stock I was looking at, was right about $80, and that one got caught in one of the false breakout, one of the flushes. Now, I was conscious. I decided to trade despite feeling a little under the weather. I told myself, hey, max share size of 500 shares and max loss at $120. I told myself. I got to being down 110 on the day, guys, before coming back later on and seeing CVM taking a few trades with about 1,000 shares and then sizing up aggressively to see some gains, man. Let's get into the recap, guys. Once again, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new, consider subscribing to the channel. Here we go. CASA, man. Choppy stuff. Big move and flush. It pulls back. It holds up on the pullback right here. First 1 minute candle to make the new high at 620. Goes to a high of 630 and then flushes. From 608, it rips all the way back to 640, then flushes. Consolidates and then flushes out right here. I did tell myself over $6 I wanted to be long because over 6 was looking good, man. In the sense of, hey, red to greens have been working out really well. VERU, all these other stocks last week, the week before. So over 6 right here, I wanted to be in it. We had lows of 583. So right there, I watched, and I got long for the break and hold instead of just to break through the level, which is what I wanted. Now that didn't work out. You can see false breakout, flush down, no good. So at this time on this stock, I was down 112, or maybe down 80, I believe. And then in this area here, so when it curled back up this second time, I'm like, hey, we just had a big flush. I don't want to touch this thing. Of course, it goes. Whenever you don't take the trades, it seems like they go. So it rips right here, and then it comes back down a little bit, and then it rips through the high. So right here, I'm like, man, this thing is just a little difficult to trade. And you can see I was close on this one. I was in here. I think I sold a little too soon, if I'm not mistaken. Or I might have, okay, this is what happened. So trading with a headache, right? And trading under the weather. It's something that I consciously knew I shouldn't be doing, but I did anyways. And so I told myself today, max share size of 500 shares, max loss of 120. So I was pretty close to my max loss at one point today, being down 112. So right here, you know what happened to me? I took a trade. It didn't go because there's a bit of a flat top right here. It didn't go. So, I stopped. My head is killing me. I go like this, kind of rub my head. We're currently, what is that? 632, 634. I look back after doing that, it's at 645. Prime example why we shouldn't be trading if we're impaired, whether physically, mentally, whatever it might be. So this thing rips to 45. I'm like, I can't buy 45. High of days at 50. What if it rejects 45? It just rips right through, straight up there to 60 and then 70. And I'm like, man, you've got to be kidding me. So I didn't trade it right here because I didn't want to have a repeat of what we saw earlier. And that's exactly what happened. It did not break out in terms of a 3-bar play or 1 minute pullback. It consolidated for a while, dipped down, and right here, look at this trend line. Picture perfect trades off the lows, but I was not confident, man. I was close to my max loss and wasn't feeling well and was very fearful. In this trade, which is absolutely the wrong mindset. When we're trading, we need to have a killer instinct. We need to be sharp. We need to be confident. And I was everything but confident right here. The first time I sold because I felt like I was in a little too high. I'm like, man, 58. And I wanted to see the stock hold 50, but I wanted my stop to be, let's say, 45. I'm like, 58, a little too high. So I got out, got back in, only 2 cents lower, 56. But this time I'm like, man, you know what? All I could think of is the trade failing. So the wrong mentality, the wrong mindset. If you're ever thinking like that, you shouldn't even be trading, because the best traders are confident traders who are fearless in the eyes of a setup, in the eyes of adversity. being fearless, being confident, that's the way to go to be a profitable trader. And I was not thinking like that right here. So, even 4 years in, here I am having a hard time trading an entry at the lows. Like, what's going on, man? All my hard work to try and be better at this area. So it's a great entry. I sold it too soon, and of course it's a complete slap in the face because it goes all the way to high of date 84. This would have put me back on green, or let's say flat on the day. I was down 112 after this trade. So that was CASA earlier today. I didn't do well. The breakouts on this stock was absolutely miserable. Once again, look at all those big wicks. It was better for trades off the lows. Now, this pullback here, it sells off and curls all the way back up. We've been seeing some huge red to greens recently, man. And look at this. Look at how clean this one was. So, if you'd missed this entire move right here, I mean, look at this, man. So these two candles are beautiful, lovely, lovely, and then it gives the pullback. I would have loved to see it right here. I could have, but I was watching it something else, So look at that move, man. It rips from 64. It looks clean all the way to a high of $7. And from 7, I saw it here. And what should I have done is the same thing that I did earlier when I had a little bit more discipline to say, nope, I'm not going to trade the move after, the breakout. So breakout, consolidation, dip. And Workling, I appreciate that post in the Discord, which came in earlier. So look at this post right here, guys. Look at this. Hold on. There we go. Look at this post right here. So this got posted, and look at the conversation, right? So big move, dip down. Big move, dip down. Big move, dip down. Big move, dip down. So look at the conversation, right? So what does that mean? Rejection, then a move later, right? And so this is exactly what happened right here. This was posted as this consolidation was going on at 7:05. And so what happened? Big move, rejection, or let's say pullback, and then big move again. I thought about buying this dip, but I'm like, it's not my style to do that. So I left it alone after it gave that big drop off. But, it seems like it would have worked out well. I hope Workling took the trade there. Big drop down and then move right back up. So it's been a crazy one. That was CASA. So I had a lot of different trades today. Read on a lot of stocks, a small amount. You can see down $9 on ATER, which is on my no trade list. So I had no business trading it. That was up $16. Gave it back. Down 67 CASA, which we just covered. Down 58 cents on MDVL. Down $7 on INDO. I was also green on this one, about $20 first. Green 21 on FREQ, which was gapping up, and I thought it was looking all right at the end of the stream today. Yes, I did a late afternoon stream right here. So a big move up. I thought this one was going to take off. I got long up here, sold into the highs. It pulled back afterwards. So VERU, small red trades into the open around this area here for the pullback. No good. INDO started to rip. So HUSA and INDO. I traded INDO first, and I realized, oh, holy smokes, HUSA is going to be cheaper and easier to trade. So I left this one alone after taking 300 share blocks, 3 trades. It was green 20, then down to $7. Left that one alone. Switched over to HUSA, and I'm like, yes, here we go. HUSA, when I pulled back, huge red to green, because I traded it earlier in the morning. You can see chop fest. Why was I even touching this stock? Like, this is what we got to be careful of, guys. I shouldn't even be touching this stock right here. This is terrible. This is awful, awful, awful. What I should be doing is waiting for a move up to this level for confirmation, and if it breaks over this trend line and closes above the trend line, then I can trade anything that's ripping up in this area here, right? And that's essentially what happened over here. I came back to it, it's ripping up, and I'm like, all right, here we go. And look at how clean this pullback was. How did I lose money right here, guys? How? So I got higher fills 3 times or twice. The pullback, we had a high of 26. And at 30, we had a big seller, I believe 20,000 shares. We dropped down to 18, 15, 13, 12, 10. It froze at 10. Buyers weren't coming in, so I waited. And then it got to 5 and then immediately rips. So as the green was coming, I bought, got filled all the way at 37, which would have been a 7-cent win. And I believe I had a higher fill somewhere else around 20, around like 25, I believe. So 2 higher fills and then a scratch trade or losing trade at the end right here. So had I had better fills or I was quicker, I should have been up, let's say 120 actually versus down 120, because the 2 trades of 7 cents would have given me 140 and then the small loss right here. So this was disappointing. So Ghost, if you're watching, I ended up overstaying my welcome after the good trades on CVM. So no good right there. But so CVM switching over, last but not least, man, this stock here, it's so funny because, you know, Steve, the moderator here in the stream, is going to call me. And we're talking a little bit about how the day went. He had a no trade day, and for me, you know, it was a red day at this time, down 112 or 110 on the day. And, you know, we saw the stock around, I believe, 11:37. We saw it early, but look at the volume right here. Lighter volume. We had 154,000 shares. Okay, some volume came in here, 350. And it's like, yeah, I said I don't like how the bids were looking. I didn't really trust it. And, you know, around, you know, this drop off at 39, we're both like, hey, but, you know, let's head on and take the day in a different direction. You know, let's get some other stuff done with the day. That was the end of the phone call. And I left to go get breakfast. Funny enough, Steve left to go get breakfast too. But I went downstairs. I came back up for some reason. I don't know why, but I came back up, and luckily that I did, because, you know, I came back and saw this right here. 583,000 shares, and a move all the way from 20 up to 54. And you can say from high of day 30 to 54. So good breakout there. And it had just pulled back right here. I'm like, man. And we had a high, let's see, I saw it with a high of 68. So I came late. I missed the first, you could say, 2 significant entries. One right here and one right here on this right. I mean, this is a perfect pullback. Absolutely beautiful. Textbook. So I missed these 2 entries, and I saw it right here. And I'm like, okay, over 68, I want to start scalping. I put out my trend line, took some small trades in here, didn't see much. We pulled back, and after this pullback here is where I started to really see some progress. So that was at 11:49 CVM. So you'll see everything before 11:49 was flat trades. So, you know, in at 62, out at 64, small gain. In at 67, out at 71, small gain, scratch trade, small gain of 2 cents. Let's see, I'm back in at 59, out at 65. Okay, decent trade there. And then at 49, here we go, 49. So I'm in at 66. Okay, scratch trade, small 2-cent gain. Here we go. So in at 73, out at 83, 10 cents. That's $100. And we continued. We had a lot of smaller winners, 3, 4, 5 cents, 2 cents. Let's see, you know, in at 93, scratch trades. In at 9, in at 498. I can't talk. 498 out at 506. Not bad. That's 80 cents. 8 cents. Well, excuse me, 8 cents, $80, right? So the small winners are adding up. And then, you know, we start to see, let's see, at 11:50, we're pulling away right here. We started to see a stair stepping up, right? Stair stepping up. So throughout the entire range, this is what those trades are looking like, right? In at 96, out at 01. In at 98, out at 04. And I increased my size, which is worth mentioning, around 11:51. So right here we had a high of 511, and we dipped down to a low 487. So I told myself, hey, if this thing retakes high of day, I need to be even more aggressive. And that's what I did. Came in and was just scalping away. Back in at 98, out at 4, out at 04, out at 12. Jeez. So look at the order right here. 1,300 shares are filled at 04, and the rest are filled at 12. I would have loved to see the bulk of the shares getting filled higher, but I believe I was selling into green, selling into the push, and I sold a little too soon, and not all the orders, all the shares getting filled early in the order. So, couple cents here, couple cents loss, 1 cent loss, scratch trade. Here we go, 5 cent gain on 1,500 shares, 10 cents on 1,500 shares is 150, so about a $75 gain right here, not bad. 4 cents, 2 cents. Here I bought twice, in at 21 and 23, selling at 27 and 26. So it's only 6 cents, but with 3,000 shares, and so there's a bit of a difference there. 180 in this trade, which is very solid, right? Bigger size. I'm back in at 23 out of 24, in at 25 out of 25. Scratch trades, 1 cent trade. So a lot of smaller winners. Sometimes we don't need those huge winners. You guys, to this point, the biggest winner is just 10 cents. I believe we had a one winner of like 15 cents somewhere. We'll get to it. In at 26 out of 31. In at 28 out of 29. In at 34 out of 35. And guys, the idea behind the scalp trades, right? When we go to CVM, the idea behind the scalp trades is that we want to be in at every area where there's an incline, and be out in every area where there's a downwards movement. And so someone who's buying the lows, right, their entry will be right here, and maybe their exit is right here, or if they're selling at the very high, all the way here. But what they're doing, they're willing to hold through all the dips. Dip, small dip, small dip. So with the scalper's mentality and the scalper's mindset, because we'll have people say, hey, why not just buy and hold? It comes down to preference. It comes down to style. Some people love to do that. Some people don't. And there's a lot of risk in the trades when we hold. A better stock to see how the risk would look is CASA. So, when we're holding longer in the trade, right? Let's say we're in down here and we're holding for the entire move, which drop off is the drop off where we're not going to come back from. And this goes from 780 right here to a low of 632. It's a pretty big drop off. So, imagine if you're not in as low as this. This is the low of day. This would have been a great entry for anybody, with hindsight being 2020. So imagine if you're in here and then it drops down here. Are we going to continue lower? There is no way of telling really, with 100% accuracy. So, the scalper's mentality is to be in here, out here, back in again, right here, and out right here. Wait throughout this consolidation, be in here, out here. There's not much. This one is harder to determine, but small move there. And so we would have to wait all the way for over here, where can I be in here, out here, back in again right here, out right here, in here, out right here. So is it more difficult to scalp? Maybe, but it depends on who you ask, because and I guess there's no maybe really. It's no right or wrong answer, because there'll be people scalping making more than people buying here and selling here. It's just what it is, and vice versa. So there's no right or wrong answer. And so it comes down to style and preference. So for every incline, I want to be in and then out. And when we get the pullback, because no stock goes up straight, right? It's usually something like this. A breakout maybe, consolidation, a move up, consolidation. So we get that stair stepping up kind of a thing, and so can I be in every incline and out when we're seeing the consolidation, the sideways move, the churn, the pullbacks? So that's the scalper's mentality, and I want you guys to see how aggressive I got here with that mindset. So right now it's at 11:55, which is, let's zoom out a little bit so you guys get some context. 11:55, so we had a pullback. It's moving up. We had the high of 511, And now we're grinding up. Not really grinding, we're pushing up, right? Because it was a fast move up. You can see on the 5 especially. And we're pushing 533. We had a high of 533. Look at these trades right here. So I'm in at 34. I'm in at 34 out of 35. We didn't quite get the move. Back in at 28 out of 29. Not quite. Back in at 29 out of 32. Now in at 31 out of 39. Back in at 39. And it's worth mentioning right here that I took 3,000 shares at 31, selling, and 3,000 shares at 30, 1,500 shares at 31, 1,500 shares at 33, total position of 3,000 shares selling at 39 a piece. So this is another pretty solid trade. Then I'm back in at 39. So you can see we had a high of 39 and I'm back in at 39. This is at 11.56. As this candle right here is starting to move, you can see high of day was at 36 right here and then 39. So as it broke 39, I'm back in again. Out at 42. Can I be back in at 43? Out at 45? Instead, I'm in at 46 out at 4. So some slippage right here. Back in at 48 out at 51. In at 51 out at 50. 51. Scratch trade there. Back in at 51 again. Added at 54. Selling at 61 and 59. Then I'm back in where? At 61. Coming out at 76. I think this was the biggest trade of the day, 15 cents in terms of cents gain. In at 80 out at 86. This is where we can watch the resumption actually, because I went live after we had the pause. This was non-stop trading. So when we had this pause, I'm like, okay, let me start up the live stream. The amount of adrenaline that came over my body, man, my headache went right away. I kind of just was in the zone and feeling good. So we'll pull up the live stream right here and take a look. So here we go. On this resumption, as you guys will see Shaquille O'Neal there on the other page. Let's pull this over. There it is. So here we are in the live stream. Let's come back. Guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget. Let's see. Are we muted? We are. So we're halted at 578. It was tricky on the resumption. I read the entries right, but I didn't capitalize to the best of my abilities. It wasn't as smooth on the time and sales. So here we go. We resume. We immediately get a high of 95. So from 78 to 95 is decent. I would have wanted to see a push to at least 610, 615. But here I'm watching the dip. Hold on. It happens a little fast. Rip to 95. Boom. I'm watching the dip. Can we dip? Can we get a dip? Can we get a dip? There's 80 on the bid. We start to see what? Some blue and then some green. So immediately I take the long down there at 80. And we had 85 with that buying on the ass that went through. And then more selling pressure came right here. You can see orders are going through at 80. So I had the right idea to buy, but I think I was a little too soon. I could have waited a little bit more and I could have been a little bit more patient. But it's always tough because it's so fast, real time. I'm in at 80. I see some red coming through right here. So I got back out. You see this right here? This is red. Selling at or below the bid. So right there I sold. My brain isn't even, my eye, the way how it is, your eye has to see everything, send the signals to your brain, and this is all milliseconds. It might seem slow now in the recap, but you let it play. I'm long right here. I'm back out, and in the motion of me selling, I got filled at 86 right there coming out. In the motion of me selling right here, the move had started to happen. So I had a misread when I had bought. I saw some selling pressure. I came back out, and immediately as I'm selling, it's also breaking out. So now the signal has to go from my eyesight to my brain again to say buy back. And look at where I'm buying back. 92, 97, 96, 94. I'm filled at 97. And can we see the move? It's a small push. I sell into the green. I didn't get the best fill. I could have held a little 1 second longer here. Right here, I was also careful of the rejection of 6 as well. Well, look at that push right through 605, 609. So I make something there, right? I make something about $100, but could have had better trades. And that's mostly all what I had recorded. From this point on in, it started to pull back. I thought we would have had support at the $0.50. So I took 700 shares at 54, stopped out, got back in at 55, stopped out at 48, and that was the day. Okay, sorry about that. I had to cut the video. I realized I wasn't on full screen. But anyhow, I looked back at it. It looks pretty good. I'll still post it instead of doing it over a third time. Yeah, but here are the trades on the monitor screen for anyone who wants to screenshot everything and take a look. Here you guys go. Boom, 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 boom. Let's move up a little bit. You can screenshot again. I was at 1150. Let's move up there to 1150. You can screenshot again. And then 1153. Another screenshot. 1156. And last page. So yeah, that was the day, guys. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It's been Relentless Trader. It's been a good recap. And I am, of course, signing out.